It is my pleasure. Was still hoping to see that there he comes. It is my pleasure to introduce our first keynote speaker, Professor Simon Musikosa, into the Faculty of Education Biannual Conference 2024, themed the transformative education in the advent of AI for IR in the light of the African educational philosophies. Here is his brief biodata. Professor Simon Musikosa is a university distinguished teacher, National Research Foundation rated researcher, and deputy chair of the Human and Social Science Ethics Committee at UKZN, program director BBC. Professor Kosa is ranked 27 of the first 100 world SA education scientists of mathematics curriculum and educational technology. 42 in Africa, what a rating. 303,597 in the world, based on the total HI index score. Program director. He has previously served as an academic leader of research and higher degree, as well as teaching practice at UKZN. He coordinates various undergraduate and postgraduate programs and teaches and supervises postgraduate research in curriculum studies and educational technology. Program director. He has received several teaching, research, and supervision awards and grants of excellence. He has a high school, technical college, university teaching, and university experience. He has currently graduated 30 PhD students, more than 80 master's degree students, and published more than 60 publications in local and international journals with the 26H index. Very profound. He is an editor and guest editor of local and international books and journals, respectively. His key interest is on e-learning theories and practices. Interestingly, program director, he is also the South African Development Home Affairs Merit Officer. Program director. Through Professor Kosa, we have an MOU on research collaboration between the University of KwaZulu-Natal, University of Eswatini, the National University of Lesotho and UL, and Kenyatta University, through the capable hands of our team. Program director and VC, Professor Kosa's topic for the day is Digitalised Curriculum to the Rescue of Natural Educating Reality in the 4-5 IR. And he will be sharing his experiences and his insight on this topic. Program director, on the wall, we have him. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, I want to introduce you to Professor Kosa. Therefore, please join me welcoming him virtually, who will be speaking to us for about 45 minutes, from which we'll have a brief Q&A, and then it will be over with him. Professor Kosa, these are your conference delegates. Ladies and gentlemen, shall we welcome him with a round of applause?
Thank you so much, Dr. Dlamini, for that, the kind way.
Also a minute, Prof, we want to connect you onto the audio of I can hear you, but we cannot hear you.
Okay, please connect me.
Colleagues, this is the technology I'm talking about.
Must come from within.
Thank you so much, Dr. Dlamini and your team there for connecting me through this interesting technology. I would like to start by greeting the Kingdom of Eswatini, University of Eswatini leadership, staff, students, conference organizers, guests, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. So in my presentation then, I've a privilege that the Dean and the Vice Chancellor have already covered the part that I was supposed to do. So all what I will be doing now is to add on what our Dean and our VC has already presented. So the main issue here, colleagues, is that we have this issue of our curriculum that are already digitalized. So we have digitalized our curriculum in such a way that we all now work in a small global village using technology wherever we are. So the issue that I've then decided to focus on today is the issue where we are talking about educating natural educating reality for the fourth industrial revolution. So now I'm asking the question that when we use this digitalized curriculum, do they really help us in our situations? So if they helped us, how do they help us? So that is the main issue that we will then be unfolding through this presentation. For more information on the issues that I will be discussing in this presentation, you will also have to, you may also visit this paper. The paper, it's online, presented by what we call a South African Journal of Higher Education. So we've written a paper on this issue, so where you can get more details. But what is important then, before we come to that, colleagues, we need first to ask ourselves that if I say, this is my nose, this is my head, this is my mouth, etc., etc., then who are we then? Which means when we own our bodies are not us, but our bodies are just a reflection of us. Then where are we standing in building these bodies that we have? Because we are dealing with the process of developing our bodies. So our bodies, if I can take you back to when you were born, remember you were a size of a hand, but today is that multiplied by 10 or 20 or 30? So how come that now from that size of your hand to this size that you have right now? Where are you? Where is the self in trying to build this body? Because there is the evidence is pointing that you have an intelligence. This intelligence is capable of building your body. So if it is capable of developing your body like that, which means you can then own the world, because the world, it's not outside us, but is inside us. So the inside which is building or developing the bodies that we have today, is giving us full evidence that we have a specific, unique internal intelligence that we need to focus on. So when you see the issues of the fourth industrial revolution coming with artificial intelligence and all those, we are trying to find what we call the self. We are trying to find to represent the intelligence that we have that has managed to develop our bodies to different sizes. And you can see how unique our intelligences are, because your fingerprints, for example, will give you a clear example that no, you are unique, you are developing the body in such a way that your body is handsome, is beautiful. So when that is happening, then where is it happening? Is it inside you or outside you? So scientists then have failed to establish where this intelligence is. So whatever tool we develop today, we develop to represent or to explain the intelligence that we have that is capable of developing our bodies the way they are. So whatever theories that are out there are trying to explain, we have tools of technology that are there trying to explain. But are we successful in explaining it like that? That's why we have then started to say, let's maybe turn our curriculum into digital technology. So we've digitalized our curriculum. So when we talk about educating, we are talking about many processes. One process will be teaching, learning, as well as research. So those processes will fall under this category called educating, when we educate. So now when we educate, let's make that thing, that it become natural, that we are now naturalizing the process of educating, so that we come to the reality of it. So if we say we have the fourth industrial revolution or the fifth industrial revolution, are we really in line with those tools and theories that are used there? So that's what we need to bring about in our thinking. So the process then from now on that we need to understand. Before we talk about technology, let's first reflect back on what is developing our bodies. Where are we in developing the bodies? Because we have shown that we can produce a specific technology that can take care of our needs. In order for us to do that, we can only do that if we are aware of the self that develop our bodies, so that we own the bodies and we use the bodies in a way that will then heal the outside world. So when then scientists started to establish that, they failed to find exactly where this intelligence is, whether it's inside our body or outside our body. But when they look at it, when they started to say, I can donate with my kidneys, I can donate with my heart, etc., and still be alive and continue to live after donating with some parts of my body. But they discovered that if you now start to donate with your brain, you take your brain and donate with your brain, you will immediately die. So, which means they then concluded that what the brain has, the experiences that are in the brain that are called the mind. The theory now of the self is saying, let's use the theory of the mind as the guide to what we are doing, to say that whatever we do, it's about the mind that is controlling everything, because they started to see that the body is just a heap of food and liquid. And then the brain is just a heap of impression, perception, etc. But they then establish that, but the theory that is closer to the truth about the self is what we can call the human mind. So now human mind then is the issue that we are trying to imitate. So when we imitate the mind, which produce what we call intelligence, so the intelligence that we have, where we are trying now to use technology to represent such intelligence, according to the human mind theory, then the mind is divided into three. So the first part is what we call unconscious mind. Unconscious mind, it's any body function that we have. For example, we have digestive system, we are breathing, we have our heart beat. All those activities are performed by what you call the unconscious mind. So the unconscious mind is tirelessly developing our bodies, whether we are aware or not aware, or whether we try to control that or not. It's immaterial in terms of our unconscious mind. So the unconscious mind, then, part of our intelligence, it's capable of developing our bodies to be what they are today. And we don't have a control in terms of changing what the intelligence of the unconscious mind has given to us or developed on us. So that's why you can see others may have a big nose, others may have small nose, others may have big ears, small ears. So all those organs are developed by their internal intelligence. So scientists then concluded that it will be the unconscious mind, so which you cannot control. You may not change to say, no, I need a small nose, or I need a long nose, I need this. So whatever is developed by your unconscious mind is there, is given. Therefore, you should not be worried about whether your nose is this or your nose. You should just be enjoying what is given by the unconscious intelligence that you have, which is unique. And then while the processes are happening like that, you are developing your body, you know how to breathe, how to move. So those movements, you know them because they are recorded in the subconscious mind. So the subconscious mind records every experience that we come across, so that if we need them in future, we can retrieve them and use them. And the subconscious mind cannot lie. So that's why you find that doctors, when someone is depressed and then is thinking that, no, I killed someone trying to defend myself. And then you find that that person is depressed by that event, that one event. So what doctors will do, because he may not like to share that information with the doctors or everyone, he will keep that up until he's getting depressed and depressed, slowly. Now, what doctors will do what we call hypnosis. They will block the conscious mind and then allow only the subconscious and the unconscious to function, When those two are functioning, the subconscious mind, which has stored all the experiences, even the event that happened where this person defended himself and then in the process killed this other person. So he will then say it if the subconscious mind is working and the unconscious mind. He will say it, he will tell the doctors that, no, I killed him because I was trying to defend myself and this and this. So when now they start to say, let's return the conscious mind, which is the reasoning power, he will now start to reason and become shy to say, oh, no, how do you know that I did this particular thing? And then what will then happen is that when the doctors are aware, they may now start to help him because they will tell him that no, in defending yourself, you follow this process and this process. Therefore, you are not found guilty. That's why you are not arrested. So don't worry about it. But all those activities are happening in the subconscious mind. So our belief, when you believe that you are afraid of a lion, or when you believe that you like monkeys, you like this, all these issues are happening in the subconscious mind. So we record everything from inception. We have started to record everything. The smell that you experience when you were young, you still have it in the subconscious mind. So in the subconscious mind, we don't have the process of the operation of subtraction or division. We only have addition and multiplication. So the intelligence of the subconscious mind only has two operations. We add or subtract. Here's the example. If you want to say, because I'm afraid of the lions, I don't want to think about lions today. So the moment you declare that war, you will multiply the lions by maybe 10 or so. You will imagine too many lions in your subconscious, because what your subconscious mind will do, it will draw all the beliefs about the lion, the fear and everything, it will draw it back. But if you say you want to reduce the knowledge of the lion, all what you do, you bring another replacement, another activity that will replace that. So it will be, maybe you decide to say, I like tigers. So all what you do, you need to think about tigers and then talk about tigers, read about tigers, watch videos on tigers. So when you are doing that, you are suppressing the lion belief. You are suppressing it. So then you look at the cheetahs and you look at the leopard and you add more information of what you like, what you are interested in order to suppress the issue of a lion. Therefore, we do not remove something from our subconscious, but we suppress. So the process of suppressing it, it's our intelligence that we have in order to run away from stress and depression, etc. Because what will stress us is what we keep on thinking about. We keep on, we move around one point. So what will happen then to the reasoning power, which is the conscious mind? The conscious mind cannot handle that situation because it has to rest. It has to, because this is the most important tool that we use for reasoning. So subconscious mind intelligence need to rest in order for us to use it all the time. So when we are fast asleep, only the conscious, the unconscious and the subconscious will be working. So this one will be taking a break. When you wake up, you start to reason again. So reasoning like that, it's helping you to start now to question whatever you have stored here in the subconscious mind unintentional, because what is happening is that the subconscious mind will store anything that you experience, it will store there. So when these things are stored there, they may not be removed. They may only be suppressed with new information. As you grow, you suppress, then you transform then to a new person, and then you move away from what you believed you were afraid of, etc., etc. So maybe the main question that you need to ask yourself is to say that when I was 10 years under the guidance of my parents, I was happy. When I was 0 years, I was happy, I was doing whatever I wanted to do. That's the moment where I was happy. And then what happened then to me at the age of 25 years? So maybe that's where you started now to think that the world is outside you. So the intelligence that is built, that is developing your body, it's outside you. Yet it is still inside you. It's just that you are overwhelmed by other activities around you. That's why now you are not paying attention to the intelligence that is helping you to build and develop your body. So in the process of growing using the conscious mind to interrogate the subconscious mind, to transform, and then we are producing different theories. We are producing different tools, but theories are not giving us the truth, but they are explaining what we should anticipate in what we are doing. So that's why you have so many theories. That's why you have so many tools. So these tools are taking us closer to the reality. So here is the position that researchers are working on today, seem to be working on today, especially with this issue of fourth and fifth industrial revolution. They started to say now, whatever truth that we have, we may be able to understand it if we come closer to it using relevant tools or using relevant theories. But what is dominating the world today before this issue is that people seem to be divided into two, where we have creationists. Look at that creationist. We have creationist. Creationist will simply say, we'll only believe evidence if it has to do with the creator or the creation. So in other words, for them, they will simply say, let's only believe the theories that will say, that will be in line with the creation, that God created the world from nothing, or God created the universe from nothing. So the equation will be God plus nothing equals to universe. So for example, then, if you were to say you are writing a thesis for creationists, when they write thesis, university thesis, you look at your students, how students may write. So read the acknowledgement. You will know then if this person is a creationist, because this person will simply say, I want to thank God for giving me this thesis before the person write about the supervisor and the family and everything. So those are creationists. So for them, anything that will work for them has to be in line with their religious belief. But on the other hand, we have what we call evolutionary theory. So evolutionists then will say, no, there are genes out there. The universe has some genes that need to be inherited to other person. So from your family, the forefathers have inherited the genes from the previous one, and then so it's moving like that. But they are saying then that the selection of those genes is naturally selected. So in other words, you may find that you are from Khoza family, but you have the genes of someone from Dlamini family who was out there. For them, they are saying is the natural selection and inheritance of that. So then when you ask them now to say how come that we have the universe, they will simply say it was blank, and then from nothing, then the Big Bang then generated the universe. So for them, then they will simply say, whatever you say, it must be scientifically proven. So use science to prove it, and then we'll agree with that. So you can see how then the world seems to be generating different theories like that. So those who are coming from evolutionary theory, they've created theirs, and then those that are coming from creationism, they've created their theories. So, and they are all working. It doesn't matter how much are those theories closer to the truth, but as long as they are working for them to survive, then the people will then use those theories. So, but researchers today are encouraging a combination of the two, where people may understand the self and then understand evidence from their personal and their experiences that is happening to them. For example, here's the example. When you say we want to prove the existence of Kilimanjaro mountain. So does Kilimanjaro mountain exist? Let's take it from the creationist. So creationist will simply say it exists if we have from our scripts something that is indicating that yes, that was the mountain was created like this and this and this and this. So in other words, it should come from the elders and give us the idea about this Kilimanjaro mountain. Then we'll then believe it if we come from the theory of creationism. So whatever tool you build, then it has to do with what elders may have said, and then how you connect this to God, and that then they will believe in that particular evidence. So whatever tool that you build, if it doesn't align the needs with that of creationism, then you may not have, they may not use it because they may not believe it. And then at the same time, for evolutionists, if you bring, if they have to prove the existence of the Kilimanjaro mountain, what they will do, they will just take photos, videos, and then give it to you to say, here's the evidence. This mountain does exist. Because for them, they want something that is coming from science. So they will take that and believe that, yes, it does exist. So now, with that notion, then, these people here, then, who are trying to bring the notion of evolutionary theory together with creationism, they are saying, why do you bother in proving the existence or non-existence of the mountain if you are not using in your daily life activities? And again, what you call as evolutionalist, what you call evidence is taken maybe using Samsung. And then they will simply say, what happened then? Why do you use Samsung? But when you use iPhone, these videos and photos are not the same, which means you don't have the truth about it. What you have is what is working for you using your particular tool to capture it. And you have captured it from the north, why didn't you take it from the south? Why didn't you take it from the west, east, and something like that? So what you call the truth then may not be the truth to everyone, because those who do not believe in Samsung, who only believe in pictures that are taken by iPhone, will simply not believe that it does exist. So wasting your time and energy doing that instead of using the knowledge that you need about Kilimanjaro mountain, whether it's coming from elders or is coming from evolutionalists, you should just be in the process of evaluating it. Rather evaluate it instead of proving it if it does exist. Proving it may not help you, but evaluating it according to your needs, according to the self, that's what will help you. So your subconscious mind then will then be transformed according to what is working for you. So if you take any tool, then you will see that the tool is working for you for particular activities. Then why don't you then focus on those issues that are working for you instead of trying to prove the existence of the whole Kilimanjaro mountain, which you may not prove whether, because what you have as pictures is just exist, the pictures that can be seen by your eyes. But what about someone with blindness? Someone with blindness will need something else to be convinced that yes, it does exist, and then he will then create. But in the process of then understanding the self, we have been trying different tools. Look at your computer. Your computer has these three features. The space that you are working on before you save your document, it's representing the conscious mind, because you are working there, you are reasoning, you are changing everything. But when you save this information, it will then be saved on the hard drive. So the hard drive is representing what you call the subconscious mind intelligence that we have. So it's representing it. You save it, it will be there. And again, when you save it there, you may not remove the record, because the register of your computer will register it even after you have deleted it, but the register will record it. That's why then computers are, computers are operating like that, because they are trying to follow what you call the subconscious mind. So the subconscious mind does not remove, does not subtract, but it suppresses. It doesn't subtract, it doesn't divide, it add or multiply. So what you are trying to remove, you may multiply it in the process of trying to think it out or thought it out. And then the computers, then they are made up of voltages and circuits, etc., etc. So that will then represent the whole part of what we call unconscious mind. So now what is happening then in our operation? We are creating small things or small theories and small tools to try to explain how we feel about things, because this challenge, this intelligence of ours that has managed to build our bodies, it's really, it's not easy to understand it, but to explain it, you explain it in these three parts of it. Just imagine when you have seen Microsoft Word. Microsoft Word on your desktop is just a blue icon there. Then you think that you know Microsoft, you have the truth about Microsoft Word. But the truth that you have is only the icon that you double click and type the letter. So you only know the user interface, the part that you use on your daily basis. But you don't know the whole truth about what we call Microsoft Word. Because if someone can simply say to you, no, don't use the icon now, use the truth about Microsoft Word, which means we have to connect the voltages, the second, the pixel that will then display this icon. How long will you take in trying to connect that? It will take you a very, very long time. Therefore, most users of that Microsoft Word will enjoy the use of the icon without necessarily thinking about the truth about Microsoft Word, which are voltages and circuit and everything. So in the process of doing that, you are using what you call, it's something working for you and is working for that particular situation, because what you have, it's constructed by someone else as the icon or user interface for you in order for you to use for survival. But now, if you have used this Microsoft Word icon too much that you now is boring to you, you may go to the next level now to understand how voltages and circuits were connected in order to produce this. But all what we have is just a piece, it's an icon that we have. So theories that are given to us to explain how the mind works, it's just an icon that we are trying to explain what the reality is about. If we are given drilling method as teachers to say, use drilling method, no, it's just an icon of how educating should be happening. But only to find that there are learners who will fail after we have used that same teaching method, which is drilling method, but yet it was recommended that it represent the truth about educating. But what we have, we are creating, is just an icon, or it's just a user interface, or a tool for us to survive. Whether it's a theory or a technology, we are creating that. So in the process of doing it, we should try now to say, let's pragmatically use what is working for us, because we cannot have all these tools. So here's the big issue then. The big issue, we were talking about revolution. Some of us may not understand what revolution is about. So I then decided to bring the definition to say revolution is an unexpected, abruptive, unprecedented, or radical change that influences the different sectors to operate in a new way. So we have seen revolution then. We are reading about revolution that we had the first industrial revolution that happened between 1760 to 1840. So where we were using animals for transportation and communication, and we also included what we call railroad, which came with the trains, etc., for mechanical production. So for mechanical production, we had to go through the process of building or constructing railroads. And then for our daily activities, we're using animals as transportation or production. If we have to plant something, then we have to plant using animals. If I want to travel from Guamanzini to the airport, all what I'll do, I'll just take a horse. I'll ride a horse, I'll ride a donkey, I'll ride. So those animals were useful that time in the first industrial revolution. Then the steam engine that were innovated there or invented during those times, and then also added to that. But late in the 19th century or early in the 20th century, we then saw other things that that were generated there that constituted what we call the second industrial revolution, where we had electricity for mass production to say, want to produce these products, and then in want as many of these products as possible. Then we then had electricity, and then we started to produce it like that. But come then 1960s, 1970s, 1980s, 1990s, we then started to go back to what we wanted to imitate, which is our internal intelligence. So the subconscious, the conscious, we then started to build the mainframe computers and semiconductor computers in 1960s. And then later, personal computers, boom, they came. And then later, then 1990s, the internet. Then we started to say, wow, how can we use the internet? When then we started to use it like that. So those were issues of what we call the third industrial revolution. But others did not use that concept. They fell in love with the concept of computer or digital revolution. That's where we started now to say we see new things about computers and that. But you can see the hard drive, the hard drive of our computers is representing what we call the subconscious. And then we have parts of the computer that are now forming our hands and that. So all those input and input devices are now, and processing devices are now forming what we call the unconscious part of is representing our unconscious mind. But the working space that we have in our computers, it's representing the reasoning power, which is the conscious mind, where we can delete this and this. So the conscious mind is working like that. You can delete something, you can, because you can listen to something now, and then in the next minute, you have forgotten about it because it was on the temporal space there, which is the reasoning space. So our reasoning is like that. We cannot reason we cannot concentrate on one thing more than 5 minutes. Just try that and see if you can concentrate on one issue more than 5 minutes. But what will happen is that your conscious mind will move around and come back and move around, connect these issues. But your subconscious mind is capturing everything into your system. So the fourth industrial revolution then came with what we call artificial intelligence. We are talking about it. And we have seen robots replacing people or supplementing what people are doing. I remember India is one of the countries that have produced a number of robot teachers that are teaching the content, because teacher robots are good in teaching the content because they can repeat the content many times. But a human teacher will be there to bring the social part of what should be happening in teaching, because these learners are not just robots, but teacher robot can treat them as robots and give them information and drill them with information. So robot teachers are good with that they've been produced. So the artificial intelligence as well is there, Internet of Things. But these issues were also highlighted by our dean. Therefore, I'm happy that it's just to add on what the dean has already indicated. There are things that are out there. But remember then 2019, what happened then? Towards the end of 2019, we've observed a new revolution. So another revolution, because remember, revolution, it's an unprecedented and radical change that is happening. So that radical change was brought about by COVID-19. So now, researchers today, are they saying, if we define revolution like this, do we still really in the fourth industrial revolution, or we are in the fourth industrial revolution as well as in the fifth industrial revolution? So when we are in there, COVID-19 brought in what we may call fifth industrial revolution, because it was definitely a revolution which came while we were working on the fourth industrial revolution. So the debate is around there, whether what we have is fourth industrial revolution or is now the fifth industrial revolution. But in whatever you are doing, and that definition may not be important whether you define it as the fifth or the fourth industrial revolution, is for other people who are creating theories as well as the tools that they may identify for the fourth or for the fifth. But for you, you just need an icon. Click the icon, use the icon, control the truth, which is now dependent on these individuals who have knowledge of voltages and circuits. But in your case, don't go there, because they are talking about fourth or fifth, whether it's moved to fifth, at the level of voltages and circuits of building these things. But in your case, all what we're interested in is what they have produced, and then you use that as a tool for your own survival. But in the process of doing that, you must remember that the issues of ethics are always there. So be ethically aware of what you are using. For example, if you use AI, for example, let's take one example that seems to be dominating, which is ChatGPT. So here are our students. Student will just go there online and simply say, tell Chat that I need an essay or authors that have written about teachers' identities in the teaching of geography, for example. So when that happens, then Chat will give you different information about it to say, no, there's a study written by so and so, and then you ask the Chat to say, can you synthesize this into one essay that I may submit? Then Chat may do that. But if Chat does not, because Chat will have to go to the database and take other people's work and synthesize them into one coherent essay, but Chat is not going to give you original ideas, new ideas, but it will go around. If it fails to get a closer definition to what you have asked, it may give you a fake one, a fake information that may sound good to you, but all of a sudden to find that this chart has misrepresented someone, a certain author. So what normally happens then is that you need to verify what you are getting from that tool. Whatever you are receiving from the tool, you must verify it. How you verify that information, if it says that COSA 2020 or COSA 2020 wrote a paper on this particular issue, you need to go to Google Scholar and then you type COSA blah, blah, blah with that particular issue. Google Scholar will then generate it if it is not a fake. If it is there, then you will see it. You know now, you've verified it. Therefore, you need to write this thing in your own way so that will be acceptable. And again, when you submit to whosoever you are submitting to, you need to declare that I use the AI to generate this data or whatever, and then that will then help you when you are in trouble to indicate that no, that it happened because I used AI to do this and this and this. But whatever will be given to you by AI, you are responsible and accountable. If AI has plagiarized something, you will have been plagiarized. Therefore, we may not have a tool that will permanently replace, for now, we don't have a tool that can replace our intelligence as humans. So humans are always there to produce these tools. Therefore, the tools are according to the ideologies of those individuals. So the tools may not operate outside the intelligence of someone. So someone's intelligence has to be part of what we are doing. No matter how good is the tool, but remember, behind it, someone's ideology was used to program the tool. So voltages and circuits that were combined according to the ideology of this particular person is what we may not we may not run away from. But what we can do, we can simply say, oh, thank you, here's the icon, I'm using the icon, but I only use it as far as here, and then ethically, I declare, I evaluate it if it is giving me right information. And then I also declare that I've used this particular tool if someone is asking me. Because there are cases today where you find that people don't attend meetings, but they ask AI to take notes. So when when AI is taking notes for them, they may write as if they were there. But someone who was there then will start to say, but I did not see them, etc., etc., etc. Therefore, if you don't declare it, is part of plagiarism or something, but is unethical not to declare that you have used the AI in order to capture what you are capturing. You interview people, you use AI, where they will just answer using the AI tool. Then again, you declare that I'm not interviewing you, so and so. You are being interviewed by AI. That will be good. So there's nothing wrong about using AI tools, but it's the part that you need to consider mostly is the ethic of using that tool. So you verify it, you declare that you have used that tool to generate what we have generated. So that's what we are expecting. But all of us, we have then, as we are growing, we have been naturally, socially, or professionally shaped to see what we want to see. That's why other people may not like to use. For example, they don't want to use Microsoft Word. They may simply say they use Microsoft Perfect. So there's the way that we are shaped to like something that others may not like. But that does not mean we have the universal truth about it, but we only have the truth that fits our frame of survival. And then all the tools that we have, then they help us to survive like that. And then naturally, we are designed to understand the operations as well as the outcome of the operations. But socially, we have been shaped to like the outcome, to say, if you say 3 cows plus 4 cows equals to 7. Then we only interested in 7. To say how many cows? There were 7. But those who are taking the professional side, they like the content, drilling people with the content. They would like to emphasize the issue of 3 cows plus 4 cows equals to, they may not consider the answer that well, because for them, the operation is more important than, sometimes more important than the answer. The answer will be just a bonus. but they pay attention on the actual action so that the consequence of the actual action will just be a bonus, whether they win or they lose. So it is coming in that handy. Then when we then continue to the next level, we have what we call natural process of doing it. So naturally, we are designed to others will fall into the professional side, others will fall into the social side. But whichever is working for you should be important. But here is the trap. If you take one, if, for example, you say you want to add the drop of water that you pour into one container, and then you simply say, no, just tell me how many drops did you pour into that? There are 7. I may lie to you if you are someone who's interested in the outcome only. You just need the outcome, the consequence of the process. I may lie to you to say there are 20 drops. But if you go to another level, then to say, I want to concentrate on the process then may tell you that you count each drop, the 3 plus 4 equals to 7. Therefore, I may not lie to you because we have concentrated on the operation, not only on the outcome. So we have covered both sides, so which may be good. So here's another example. If you say, knowing the truth about something, it's important. So look at some issues like what Eric has done in the past. Eric is the one who produced Zoom, the Zoom that we are using right now. So the icon, this blue icon was produced by him in order for us to control the voltages and that. So he knows those voltages that he combined, etc., etc. But for us, we might not be interested in knowing anything about them because it's working with the icon to control the truth that we even don't know. But for him, then, he decided to leave the company where he was working and with other engineers. He was the vice president there at Cisco, and then he moved away with that because he had in his mind, he thought that working for this company producing issues like Zoom, etc., was not working well for him because he knew the truth about Zoom, about video conferencing technology. He knew that he has the truth about it. But working with people who did not have the truth on hard voltages and that were combined, then for him, he decided to move away and open his company. And then that company could not survive because out there were other people who had the truth about video conferencing technologies like Microsoft. So Microsoft team then is now competing with Zoom. So as a result, then maybe knowing the truth will help you to be more fitter in the universal activities that we have. But it may not mean that you may be fitter in anything that you do. So for example, building a company for video conferencing technologies, knowing the truth about video conferencing technologies, you may find that, yes, your knowledge is good enough, but it's not good enough to change the world the way you thought it was going to change. But knowing the truth is important. But the truth that you need at that particular time. So in this case, then Eric was doing well as a vice president there, as also a CEO, doing everything there. But the moment he moved out, then it took away some element of his truth, which he was enjoying most. So moving around sometimes to say that I don't want to use the icon now. I want the truth about this Zoom. voltages and circuit, it may delay your process. Maybe your teaching, it delay your teaching. But if you were used to use the icon, then it's easy. And we have seen others like Sam there, who also created Chat GPT. And then in November 2022, his ideology is around Chat GPT. But if you look at him as well, you'll find that he had to drop out from a college where he was studying for a degree, etc., etc. So now, forcing him to continue with the college degree while he can do something else may then take away the product that he has produced for us to use, taking from his icon, and then we use this for survival. So delaying him from by saying that you force him to go to the college. That's what you normally do. That no, you must do this, you must do, but only to find that the truth about educating is not working well for this particular individual. So when this particular individual is outside that comparison space of ours, then they are able to create what they want to create, because no one has the truth about what we should be doing, but what we have are the icons or tools for us to survive. And then you also have Jane there, who produced Microsoft WhatsApp after he was fired from his company. But the main issue now will be to say, what should happen then? Is it what should we do then? Is it the it looked like, yeah, it looked like something to be. Okay, so now is it the belief or the evidence? So whichever we take should be important for us in terms of understanding, because it's sometimes you may have evidence about Kilimanjaro mountain, but if it is coming from a tool that you do not believe, you may not still believe it. And then you may have evidence about something, you may not believe it. So what then should happen is that you think about your situation and follow your situation. But what the world is doing now is creating a situation where you have to work around it and then find a suitable situation that are working for you. So in this presentation, then I have some pictures that you will have to look at, and then at your own time, and then you see if you see one thing, and then you share this with your other people around you, whether your family members and colleagues at work. Then you use that and see if you see the same. But I guarantee you, you are not going to see these pictures in the same way, because others will see people, others will see the verse, etc., etc. For example, in this one, someone may not see the faces there and only see the verse, but others will say they can only see the faces, they don't see the verse. So how you frame your experience will determine how you go about understanding whatever you experience on your daily basis. So I've quite a number of pictures here where you have grandmother and grandfather, and the small pictures there that you may identify, but others may not see those because their framing are not taking them to that direction that you are taking. So I have quite a number of them here. Just because of time, then I will ask you just to look at them and see if you can see all these pictures, because this one has faces out there, another face there, another face there, another face there. It has so many faces. A lady carrying something there, carrying a baby, and then a person there, and then you have that. So all what we have here is just our senses that are giving to us. So you will look at this, and for this one, usually people will say they can see a frog, but this is not a frog, but it's a horse. So when you look at it carefully, you will see that no, it's just a representation of a horse. And then you go to this one where you can think that you can see a lady there and the squirrel there. But if you turn it upside down, you don't see that. So can we imagine fighting with people to say, no, I see a squirrel and the lady, but they turn it around, then it's there. That's how the world operates. What you think you see may not be the truth, but is something for you to survive. And this one, which is the last picture there, that we'll have to look at it. After you have seen people, a number of people in these pictures, you may not see that there are fishes that are moving in there. But what you'll say, you'll simply say, I can see a couple. But there's no couple there. These are fishes, dolphin moving in the white space, moving down, another one moving down, another one moving down, another one moving down, this one jumping that side, and this one moving down like this. So these are dolphins. But when people look at this after they've seen the previous pictures, they'll simply say they've seen a couple. There's no couple there. Therefore, it should be in that way that we understand the world that we live in. And then with technology, technology has then shown us that it's divided into hardware, software, and also ideological way. So there are theories that are operating within it. So you will see this when I send the slides then to Dr. Dlamini, then Dr. Dlamini will share with all of you. There are people who are the leaders of those approaches or theories for teaching, learning, research. So like Ralph Taylor there, who advocated for a content-driven framework of looking at teaching, learning, etc. And then when you look at it, then there's Lawrence Stenhouse who also said, no, it shouldn't be. People should not be programmed, but they should be given activities to learn. And then from there, they can be able to do that. And then we also have Paulo Freire. They were saying, no. You, Lawrence Stenhouse, you are also programming them because you are coming as a teacher, you are coming with activities. Activities are not coming with the learners. Therefore, even in your approach is not learner-centeredness. Therefore, what we can say then is that all what we do, we are doing the same thing. So there are many studies then that have shaped us then to show us how things are happening. But these tables seem to be a common factor on the theories that we have in educating. So where we have a reason for educating, we have goals for educating, specific resources for educating, assessment, content, etc. So these concepts, you may see when you look at theories that we have in educating, you can see that these seem to be common because it looks like theories now are just changing these curriculum concept. That's why then you can see all these theories that will be present. I think some of the presenters will touch on these theories and then present and show us how the theories are working and then different theories. I think then I will just have to end it there so that we can have some discussions and questions of some kind. But this presentation will come so that you will be able to see what I have included there. So that's all, Dr. Dlamini.